everyone, it's Cooper from Tooling Up Teens. Today we'll be going through our Home Builders Carpentry segment. But before we get started, I wanted to thank the Manitoba Home Builders Association and Qualico, our sponsors, and any sponsors you might see throughout the video. Today we'll talk to Nick from Qualico about safety, hand tool skills, working on a big construction site as a team member. And with Jennifer and Crystal about things like drafting, training recruitment, and more. Our demonstrator today is Chad.
That's beautiful.
Perfect.
Way to go, Chad!
Woo! I'm really excited, but always keeping the safety first mentality. So let's get started. I'm here with Chad from, not Chad, from the Sing Chad, sorry.
That's all right. He's coming.
Yeah. I'm here with Nick from Qualico. Could you tell us a bit about what you do with Qualico?
Yeah, I'm Streetside Development's construction manager, so I work with the entire production team in pre-planning and on-site and working with everyone just to get it done.
Keep your fingers away from blades and such.
Okay, so how do you ensure that everyone's safe and healthy?
Qualico's health and safety program is really a team effort, so there's quite a few individuals behind the scenes that are really driving the safety objectives home, and then they instill it on everyone else on site.
Well, that sounds very community-driven.
Absolutely.
When getting started at a new construction site, what do you need to be aware of to have everything go smoothly?
Every visitor that comes to a new construction site will check in at the site office and then get an orientation prior to actually stepping foot onto the site. So they'll meet up and learn all the hazards and particular dangers on that site and then go from there.
Wow, okay, so everyone knows what they're doing before they even get there.
Yeah, if there's a new orientation that needs to happen, so a new person in the industry, they'll get a little bit more of a detailed orientation on how to use particular tools and items of that nature. Whereas a more experienced individual coming in that has those skill sets already, they'll just get the more lay of the land.
So we're about to get started with some demos, so do you want to tell us a bit about what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, Chad will be demonstrating a couple of the more typical framing aspects that we would do after the general shell of the building's put up. So it's not necessarily the bones of the building, but it allows all the finishes to be received and the overall aesthetic of it to come together.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm here with Nick and Chad, and Nick is about to tell us what we're about to start.
Yeah, so Chad's going to be installing a couple frames that we had left out intentionally for access. So this will be in our back framing scope of work. So he'll show you how to reinstall some recently installed studs.
So why would you say it's important to know how to use all the construction tools before using them?
There's a lot of specialized tools in construction, so that could cause a lot of danger and injure people if they're not familiar with how to properly use them. So because they're going into harder surfaces and items of that nature, then they would need to know the safety precautions associated with each one of those.
Yeah.
So now he'll nail the top.
So here's a question that some of our students might be surprised about, but what kind of mathematics go into being a carpenter or framer?
Mostly dealing with fractions, because everything is typically in inches, so half inches, quarter inches, items of that. So it's going to be the addition and subtraction of those fractions. And then once you get into layout, there's a lot of addition, subtraction, and then roofs, it's all trig work up on the roof. So a lot of trigonometry, because a roof is essentially a giant triangle. So that is kind of the unforeseen math equation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now that Chad's put the stud in place, we would check it for level to ensure that it's exactly where it needs to be.
And it is.
We're going to turn the laser on.
So what would be the average salary range for someone working in this industry?
When someone goes through the apprenticeship program and becomes a journey person carpenter, that salary would range from $31.60 an hour. And that would be governed by the apprenticeship program. And then it would vary all the way from $12 an hour up into that point.
Wow, okay.
So I'd say that's the dry run. Maybe you want to trim that up a little.
Do you want to go on the other side then?
Yeah, should we go bring the chop saw in here showing you cutting it down? Or do you want this, Chad? Okay, so general safety on it, you gotta hit this with your thumb, and then you're able to pull that. And then you don't want to be anywhere near your blade, so you always want to keep your hand as far away as possible. The minimum is 6 inches.
So why would someone working in the trades want to go into home building? Okay.
Well, the home building industry is very rewarding. You get to see the communities you develop as the years progress, and always going back, driving through them, you can remember exactly where you were at that point in time.
That's pretty cool. You get to see your work visualized.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very tangible. So you go through there and you see what you worked on, and then as the trends progress and the homes changes and the demands of the market change as well, you can kind of see how it evolves over time.
It's cool. So what gets you excited about home building? Like, what got you started?
I think it was the ability to go out and put in a hard day's work and then see what you actually accomplished at the end of the day. So it's very tangible in the sense that at the end of the day you can step back and see exactly what was completed that day.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But on these miter saws, you always want to start here.
Okay.
Push into your cut.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any advice for someone that wants to go into home building?
Yeah, I would say just get started in any division or any industry. There's nothing specific. You don't have to pick one off the get-go and think that's your avenue. Once you get onto a construction site, you can see what everyone else is doing out there and kind of see what sparks your interest, and you can always change into that division after.
So there's a lot of options if what you first try doesn't work out?
Yeah, so if you came on as the framer, and then you see the electricians working in the background, and that really sparks your interest, there's nothing saying that you can't go and all of a sudden become an electrician.
Yeah, sparks your interest, no pun intended.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you.
Good job.
Hi, I'm here with Jennifer from...
Kensington and Foxbridge Homes.
Hi, Jennifer, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, Cooper. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, could you tell us a bit about what we're going to cover today?
Sure. We are going to cover what it is to be a draftsperson and how they affect the final build.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
What is it to be a draftsperson?
A draftsperson is the one who creates the drawings that they use on site to do the build.
Okay, sounds good. How did you get into it?
I got into it because I just love design. I like to draw, I like to be creative, and it was a good way to express it.
Yeah, me too. So what kind of software do you use? Because there's a lot of math and computers involved.
Yes, there is. So, well, we used to sit more at a drafting table and have to calculate everything manually. Now it's more done actually on the computer. So we do programs like 3D programs like Revit, or we use AutoCAD for our 2D drawings. And thankfully, it really helps guide us to come up with those calculations.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a blueprint of the entire home from...
So would you say that drafting is a good industry to work in?
Oh, absolutely. The design and drafting field right now is booming. And while my part of it is in residential design, there are so many different avenues you can take. So anything from doing surveying to landscape architecture to an architect to engineering, you need drafting for all of them.
Oh, wow. So there's something for everyone.
Yes, there is. And there'll be someone that comes in and roughs in all the electrical, which has happened. Mechanical come in, and then once they've passed their inspection, they'll go through and close it all up.
And what kind of education do you need?
So you need to have post-secondary education. You can do anything from taking a university degree, but there's also college diplomas, or you can take a civil engineering tech program here in Winnipeg, so there's a few different avenues for that too.
Okay. So do you get to see your work when it's done? Do you get to see the homes built?
We try to. We do a lot of different models, and we try to see each model. It really helps us to visualize just what needs to change, what worked really well, and we use that to help us in future designs.
Cool. What's your favorite thing that you've seen that you've worked on?
Recently we just did a hidden room. We did an entertainment center that when it opened up, it became like a study or kids area behind it, and that was really cool.
That sounds super cool. Was it like a bookcase
Yep,
or anything?
a bookcase opened up,
awesome.
so we had to calculate how to do that and sort of do a lot of it on drawing, but then we had to play a lot of it out on site too.
Cool, yeah. So why would someone in the trades want to work in the home industry business?
Well, for my part of it, I don't know if I'd call myself a trade. We're the drafting and design part, and the part of it that I really like is that we're always getting to do something different. We're always getting to see new designs. We get to be creative, so that part would be really appealing to people.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
What gets you super excited, like in home building? So what got you started?
I got started because I just love design, and I mean, you'll hear so many people say that they love homes and seeing different things, and I guess I'm one of those people. So I think it's just a great way to express yourself. I think it's really interesting to know that the homes that we create are going to be used for people for years to come. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Do you have any advice for someone that might want to go into your field?
Yeah, for anyone that's looking to do it, if you like design, if you're creative, if you like to draw and sketch, if you like the use of computers, it's definitely a good industry. It's exciting to be doing, and it's rewarding.
So when you were younger, were you interested in the industry? Like, did you watch a lot of like home renovation shows or anything like that?
I still do. When I was younger, it wasn't as big as it is today. But no, so how I got into it, I guess, my whole family is, I would say, more artistic. So my grandfather was an engineer, my grandma was an architect, and my mom was an interior designer. My aunt is a painter, so very an artistic background, and just really liked that design aspect and wanted to see what I could do with it.
Yeah, so just all of those blended together?
All those blended together, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Allow me to introduce Crystal, a recruitment specialist from Qualico.
Hi, Cooper. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. So, could you tell us a little bit about your job?
Sure. I work as a recruitment specialist for Qualico, so I help to connect people with jobs. Our recruitment team helps with things like posting jobs online. We make sure everybody's finished their criminal record checks and references. We also go out to all the community groups and post-secondary institutions, especially those that interact and train our trades, and let them know about jobs at Qualico. I also reach out to different community groups, people that help job seekers, new Canadians, and I get to tell all the great stories about what a wonderful industry it is to work in the home building industry.
Wow, that sounds great. So, we know about carpentry, but could you tell us a bit about other trades in the home industry?
Absolutely. So home building actually employs quite a number of trades. So if you look around us, you can see the carpenters would have been hard at work, the draftspeople that put all of the images together to make it a reality. You'll see trades like plumbers, electricians, sheet metal workers, flooring installers, masons. So really the list goes on and on. The home building industry really does rely on a lot of trades.
Wow, so there's a lot of variety.
Huge variety.
Wow.
Yeah, so today we're going to be framing up a frost wall. So a frost wall is exclusively in a basement or a lower level. What it does is it allows the frost off the concrete not to touch the insulation that goes within the wall that you guys are going to be framing up for us today.
What qualities are you looking for in the perfect recruit?
Sure. Well, our ideal candidate for any job is really someone who has some work-related experience. Ideally, if they have some education on it as well, they'll really be able to hit the ground running. But for anyone in the trades, really they'll get their basis of education in the classroom and then complete an apprenticeship on the job site, and you kind of do a little bit of back and forth with the education and the job site in order to get hired. So our ideal person has been through one of those programs of education, but most importantly, they really need a great attitude, be willing to learn new things because our industry is constantly changing and you got to keep up with the latest technologies.
So how do people apply for these jobs in the home building industry?
Well, it's actually still quite common for people to come up on a construction site and hand someone their resume. So that is still a practice that happens today. For any open jobs that we have at Qualico, there's typically an online job posting, so people can submit their resumes online. On your resume, you're going to want to include things like your volunteer and work experience, any specialized training that you've done. As you progress in your career with the trades, you're going to want to take up different specialized training to help yourself stand apart as a really great candidate.
And now Chad will secure the plates onto.
So why would someone want to work in the home building industry?
Well, I personally find it to be actually a little bit magical in that you can take these drawings, whether they're on a piece of paper or in a 3D design, and then you take these raw materials and you take the people and you put it all together and you get what we see here, or at a later stage, the home.
So Chad will continue to screw in off the top plate. Now that the top is secure, we will fasten the wall to the already fastened bottom plate, ensuring that it is plumb and level.
So are you more in an office space or a workspace from your day-to-day?
So I would say that the trades really depends on the work site. So carpenter, for example, would be on a physical work site. whereas a drafts person might be in the office. Also, a lot of people that start out in the trades may end up being promoted to roles in the organization that are either office or site-based.
You're hired.
31.60 an hour.
So why would someone in the trades want to work in the home building industry?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunity for people in the trades. I mean, there's a lot of different industries to choose from, but home building, you really get a chance to make an impact on people's day-to-day lives and kind of, what the home looks like in one way, shape, or form. And everybody needs somewhere to live. So it's an industry that historically is pretty stable and actually really surging right now. So it's an exciting time to be in the industry.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. You're building people's dream homes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. Wow, that was great. I came away with so much information about proper tool handling, safety, and some other office stuff too. A carpenter has a big, important job and has to know a lot of stuff. This was just the home building segment, so there's a lot more to this than you think. I kind of hope we find another segment of carpentry to shoot before long. In the meantime, we'll be really careful with any tools we're handling. Always work with an experienced carpenter if possible. Go slow and be safe. We especially need to thank Crystal, Jennifer, and Nick, our really knowledgeable on-camera guests, and of course the Manitoba Home Builders Association and Qualico for their great support. That's it for me today, and I hope to see you again with another Tooling Up Teens video. Goodbye!